Thank you for tuning in to Cocktails with Landy, a variety podcast with the sole purpose to encourage personal development while we discuss different points of view. Sit back, relax, enjoy the show, and by the way, don't forget your cocktail. This episode of Cocktails with Landy, sponsored by ASD Fashions. On this episode of Cocktails with Landy, toxic relationships. That works perfect. Welcome to another episode of Cocktails with Landy. This episode, I have my amazing friend. She was with us last week, and I felt like, you know what, she needs to come back. Because my baby say she wanted to be fierce. So, let me tell y'all, my friend Kim, Locs by Kim, is here.
Hey, y'all.
So, she's definitely going to be sharing with us today about our amazing topic. It's called toxic relationships.
Yes.
And to that, the drink for today is, in English, for my English-speaking people, it's called poison. But today we're calling it poison.
Yes.
That's the French version.
Okay.
So listen, I'm giving you guys like language lessons on here. Listen, this Cocktail with Landy is an amazing podcast. So this is again poison. And honey, cheers to those toxic friends we done got out in relationships that we've been out of. So this is gonna be good.
Oh, this is good.
All right, I'm gonna tell you.
This is good.
Cocktail with Landy.
That's really
So, again, welcome to another episode with Cocktail with Landy. In today's episode, we want to discuss toxic relationship. And Kim, hold on, you guys. I almost forgot my sponsors today.
Oh, yes. Don't forget.
Now, you know what I call this? I call this red bottles.
Yes.
He call these Louis. Louis, baby. These are Louis hats. You can get these amazing hats. She sponsored today's episode, ASD_fashions. I'm gonna, for sure, you guys know I always put the link here when the video's over. You can catch me on YouTube, Cocktails with Landy. It'll have all her information. It'll have Locs by Kim on there. This is her real hair. This shit I play, okay? So, so she does this, and I know a lot of you guys typically want someone that can actually work on natural hair, and that's what she does, okay? So again, ASD_fashions for this amazing fedora, okay? So back to the topic at hand. The conversation today is kind of to discuss toxic relationships, and the reason why I wanted to discuss toxic relationships because I feel that a lot of people don't really realize when they're in one.
Right.
And that goes for friendships
Yes.
and relationships. Because a lot of people hear toxic relationship and just think it's a romantic thing. But it can also be, being in platonic situations where, it's toxic for you. So what I would want to share is, have you, experienced anything like that?
I have. And I want to say that, sometimes we feel like toxic relationships can come from the other person, and that's not always true. It can actually come from yourself, providing that toxic relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So I have experienced that in a couple of relationships that I have, because I realized that, sometimes you kind of want to preserve that relationship with that person, and whatever that person is saying or doing, you want to make sure you say it the right way for that person, or your opinions, you kind of suppress your opinions and your feelings because you don't want to hurt that person, or you don't want to lose that relationship with that person. So you kind of suppress yourself and your feelings and your emotions, and it can cause a toxic relationship for yourself, because then now you're not being your true self. Now you're not being your pure, honest self with that person and with yourself. So now that causes a toxic relationship, and I've done that plenty of times.
Well, for me, I think I've been on both ends, like being the toxic person and the other being the person being toxic towards me. So, and it takes a very long time because you don't really realize when you're in that situation, and you just think this is normal for you, right? So with that being said, where I am, and I've said it on many of the different episodes, where I am in my life today is, listen, I'm all about my energy. I'm preserving my energy, and listen, I want to be very transparent. Listen, don't take offense to it, because I'm protecting myself and my well-being. So with that being said, Like, if you see that the way that I used to move with you is not the way that I move with you anymore, it's because I the vibe wasn't there for me. And I'm always going to go with the vibes, right? So if the vibe's not there, I'm not going to do it. Because at the end of the day, I always tell people, when I'm 6 by 6 under, you're not going to go down there with me. So I can't stress and overwhelm myself about your situation or about somebody else's situation. Now, I want to share this. I really want to start off with toxic relationships in the romantic way. Right? And like what my experiences, and Kim, you can also share if you've been in those situations, and then we can kind of touch base on friendships. And, family too.
Yeah, because they
toxic too.
Yes, they are.
So we're going to talk about that too. And, okay, you guys, please don't forget, if you guys want to join the live, if you guys are, share the live. I don't know who's on here. Pin it for me. Cocktails with Landy. You know what I mean? So request it if you want to chime in about any about this particular topic, because we want to hear from you as well. Like, don't be scared. Okay? So with that being said, let me talk about my situation. Like, being in a toxic relationship. I've been in the toxic situation where, like, example, being in a relationship for years, and I'm thinking like this is normal, because I'm thinking this is what quote unquote love is supposed to be. Because if he's treating me a certain way, and if he has this type of demeanor towards me, or so this type of aggression towards me, that means he loves me, right? Because if he didn't love me, he wouldn't be acting the way he's acting. So he has to love me, right? So with that being said, so with that being said, like, I definitely have been in that situation, and while being in it, like, it took me a long time. And you know what it was? It's like, I'm talking about years, and it took me seeing other people's situations, and seeing other people. I'm like, damn, my situation is not like that. Right. You know what I mean? Like, how come? Why is it that that their type of love is different from my type of love? And these are traits for me where I felt like it was toxic. Things, I feel like love is pure. Love is, I don't use the word blind because
it's not really blind.
I don't care if it's blind, but love is pure and love doesn't hurt. Right. That's it shouldn't hurt. So, and if you are going through whatever, these are things you get off, you get over pretty quickly. Yeah. Right. So being with him, like, I remember one time he told me, listen, if anybody knows me, knows I like to dress up. I do. I dress up to go to my bedroom. I dress up to go on the porch. I dress up, honey. I put on some lashes to take the garbage out. That's just my personality. Okay? And I was going to church. And he said, you have to dress like that for church. So I'm thinking like, like, what? I'm like, I'm getting fly. If I can get fly for you, I can get fly for the Lord too. Like, right. So I didn't understand it. But again, this is where manipulation comes in. Yes. And when they manipulate you, it's where they, throw in little things, like they plant seeds, to test you, to see how strong you really are. You know what I mean? So with that being said, it's like, I was like, and then I noticed I started shifting, I started changing the way that I dress. I was like, these heels too high. Like, people are going to look at me, and then blah, blah, blah. And then slowly but surely, like, that was just one thing. And then it went from, it's always why this, why that, why this, why this, why this, why that. It's why, when, and where. Why, when, and where. Why, when, and where. And I'm like, and it took me to finally get out. And it took me a while to get out of that situation. Finally, when I finally got out of it is when I was like, you know what? This is not what it is. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And, other things as well as like, another thing that played a role in that was the fact that I felt at the time I was the breadwinner. Oh, okay. In that situation. So it was like very, very easy for me to kind of like leave, because not easy. You didn't really. It wasn't that the financial burden. Well, exactly. Yeah. Right. So that was like my mind. Like, I've been in toxic other situations as well. Ooh, I'm finna say no fear. Great. Let my friend chime in. So, but I'm finna say this for y'all.
Well, when you growing up in a household where you don't see, like, my family has a bunch of women, and in the family, nobody's really married. We probably only have 1 or 2 persons that are married in the family. So it's like, I didn't grow up knowing what love was supposed to be like, or what love, the image of what love is supposed to be like. Or, you know, my mother couldn't express it to me because she was in the same, you know, boat as well. She didn't have a significant other. So for me, it was like, when a guy said a certain thing or did a certain thing, it was just like, oh my God, he really likes me. He really likes me. And then it became, I've never been in an abusive relationship, but sometimes they can verbally abuse you, and it becomes really toxic. Like, you know, I've had a situation where a guy would be like, you'll never find anybody else like me, or you'll never find anybody better than me, and nobody's gonna want you like how I want you. And it's like, you know, you start to think that this is actually true. Like, maybe I'm not worthy for another person to love me the way that I deserve to be loved, and you just stick with it and deal with it, and it's not healthy at all.
It's not, because it, like, that type of pressure, like it holds you right here. You know what I'm saying? And like, it's like every night you gotta think about it. Before you go to sleep, you gotta think about it. And you know, but honey, let me give y'all this tea. Girl, I was dating this guy.
Right.
He's a very well-known individual. And I was like, you know, let me be honest, he bamboozled me at first. 'Cause I always tell people this story, like, he bamboozled me because I thought he was someone, you know, that, like, you know, he really manipulated the situation. He led me to believe he was somebody else. But by the time I was into it, I was already wrapped in. When I figured out what the situation was, I was wrapped into it. So this individual, this is where toxic came in. Like, I ain't never seen no individual. Listen, I already told you guys I like to be in the mirror. This person like to be in the mirror more than me. Like, we going out, he asking me to take his picture. You know? I'm like, okay. You know? And let me tell y'all something. And I don't care. You know me. Let me explain something to y'all. Be careful for the people that's always wearing sunglasses at nighttime.
Ooh, that's a good one. That is so interesting.
Let me tell you why. Girl, because, you know, again, he was always watching everybody.
Okay.
Right? And I never understood it. Like, I never understood, like, why the hell? It's pitch black in here. Like, but going back to my point is because he wanted to observe what was going on, everything that was going on. Right? He was like the ringmaster, so he wanted to make sure that he, you know, all the pieces were in place. So, you know, he'll throw little things like, well, he used to love this, like, well, if you love me, you would do this. If you love me, you would do this. Oh, girl, let me tell you this. Girl, he had the, girl, sip up, honey.
Yes.
Girl, sip. Girl, he had the audacity to ask me, well, you know, would you consider us, like, having a side chick?
Oh, my goodness.
Hey, I'm sorry. The Haitian side had to come out of me.
Okay.
So I was like, what? And then I guess I'm assuming that those were his previous situations, and, you know, they allowed that to happen, and they allowed that to play out. And, like, he used to always tell me, well, you know, we could get, like, dumb stuff. Like, we could get money from her. What? And then I'm like, you know, at the end of the day, I was like, that's when it started going left.
Right.
Because I'm like, what is this man talking about? You know what I mean? So I'm like, well, you know, I don't even need you to take care of me.
So why do
I need another girl to come in? And first of all, I'm sorry, you guys, I ain't even been drinking, but I gotta say, you ain't even got enough stuff for me. How you finna share?
I'm sorry, I don't like to share.
Okay, so the level, because he just thought he was that guy, like, he just thought he was the man, like, he felt like, you know, he can do that, or try to play with my emotions, or insult my intelligence.
Right.
And not only insult my intelligence, but he didn't know he was dealing with a confident bitch. Sorry. You know, like, chicks like me, it's very hard for you to run that type of game on me. Because, no offense, I run across you type of guys all the time. So for whatever other female, that would have been easy for her to fall into that trap. Right. Because maybe you were the most attractive looking person that she dated, or whatever, or most successful person that she's dated. But honey, you a play to me. Okay? Okay, so with that being said, it's like it was like it was draining.
Yeah.
Every time I would call him, I had to. Let me tell you, this is when you know you're in a toxic situation.
Yeah.
Like every time I would call him, like I had to think about what I was going to say.
Right. That. Yeah.
You guys ever been through that?
Before
like you guys having the whole role play.
Yeah.
You're the whole role play. Okay, if he say this,
then I'm gonna say that.
So I'm like, so if I say this too loud, then he's gonna say it like this.
Yeah.
So I gotta have a rebuttal.
Yeah.
That's not what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
So that was like, I would say that was like one of the most toxic situations that I've ever been in. Because it's like arguing all the time, accusing all the time, and why don't you this and why don't you that? And it's like, it was just overwhelming. So I would share, that was one of my like toxic, situations. But, girl.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, but so in your hand, because I would share it. I've known Kim a very long time, and Kim is she's very soft spoken, right? So she's very nice, so for certain individuals, but she don't play the radio too. So let's not mistaken. People say you have to be cautious of those silent people.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
So with that being said, with your situation, has it come across because you're so laid back, so to say? Like, do you think they feel like they can take advantage of you a little bit more?
I would say that because I'm the type of person, like, you have to do something to me so many times before I get to that point. And I think that a lot of people take that as a weakness. And it's more like, it's not a weakness. I feel like it's more like I don't want to say like a defense type of mechanism. But it's just that, just know that I'm watching still. I'm still watching, I'm still observing, I'm still learning. I may let you, and it might be wrong that I'm letting you slide with a couple of things, but I'm still trying to study you. And I'm going to say, like, I'm still learning myself. I'm still growing every day, and I'm still learning about myself. So it's like I'm learning different things of what gets me to my point. So it's an ongoing situation for me, but know that to a certain point you're not going to be able to get too far with running over me. Okay. At some point, you're going to know that, hey, I'm done with you. I'm tired of this, and this is not working out. So, yeah.
Okay. So I think I have some people, some comments, questions. Some individuals here are. I don't know. I can't see. I think someone's.
You just have a comment from Jew7174 says loser.
You know what it is, Juju.
Yeah, we're still waiting on some people that's interested.
I think I don't know what is this here. I think so. My producer's helping me out here, ladies. I'm not sure. Is that a comment or is that Juju?
Someone's requesting to be on live.
Okay, so let's join the party. Let's have this conversation. All righty. So who's joining us?
It is going to be.
Let's see.
We're waiting for a connection.
Hey!
Hi, how are you?
Great, how are you?
Nadej.
Hey, Nadesh, how are you, girl?
I'm good. How are you?
Amazing. Let the people know where you're calling us from.
Oh, Cambridge, Massachusetts, Boston.
Yay! Is it warm up there?
It was earlier, but
A little chilly now?
yes, absolutely.
Alrighty, boo. So I know you wanted to chime in.
Yes. So let me just say this, and I have been married for 14 years, happily divorced. So a lot of times, I will say, when you're in a toxic relationship, I'll just say the majority, no, I'll just say 50-50 of the women or men don't know their worth. Therefore, they stay in that toxic relationship. So if you don't know your worth, of course, you're going to think that this A is okay to do, B is okay to say. And then you stay there until a revelation comes or happens. Or in my situation, it was a duration. It was just basically always working and not really dealing with the relationship at hand. So then by 2 years, 5 years went by too long. But the minute I had time, then it was done.
Yeah.
But
Wow. Okay.
and so that may happen also. But for the majority of the time, with women that I've spoken to, it's just that, and I'll just talk about women, but there have been men also. They don't know their worth. So if you don't know your worth, you don't know better. And when you know better, you'll do
You
better.
do better, yes.
You're absolutely right. Like I definitely agree with that point. That there is just like, I guess a question I would have for you coming out of that situation, and you just mentioned like 14 years.
That's a long
There's
time.
people. I'm not sure if there are children involved in your
Yes.
situation. So like having kids that are involved, like what is it like? What do you tell your kids? What do you tell your family? What do you tell your friends? Like how do you approach the situation?
Well, with the kids, so let me just say, my relationship, it wasn't like we were arguing or any of that. You know, it was literally that we were roommates. So that,
Oh.
so for those who are married and think, oh, I'm
Right.
in a relationship or married or because of the kids, that could be even worse than because you could be better as friends. We're not in that place right now, but sometimes it's worse staying in that relationship thinking that you're staying for the kids when you're doing them a disservice. You're not giving it 100% because you're focusing on this negativity in this toxic relationship that you have to focus on.
I definitely agree, and I think you listen to that. You just dropped a lot of gems here for our viewers. And going back to what her point is, being in these toxic situations, you don't understand. Like this is how I look at life now. I don't know if I'm gonna close my eyes tonight and open it tomorrow. So it's like I can't give that to you, and I'm going to be selfish with my energy. I'm going to be selfish with my time. I'm going to be selfish with my energy. I'm going to be selfish. I don't care. I say it so many times because sometimes you have to manifest. Sometimes some people think you have to manifest things. Sometimes you have to manifest feelings. You know what I mean? I need to manifest like I'm not dealing with that. So the more I tell myself I'm not going to deal with it, guess what? I just started not to deal with it.
And it's interesting that you say that because, like, for me, it took me a while to get to this point, and now I'm starting to see that in myself where I want positive energy around me. I want to preserve my energy. So I try to, like, exactly what you say. I'm manifesting those feelings. I'm manifesting that thought in my mind so that if I feel like I'm in a toxic situation or relationship, I know that I don't want you and I'm blocking you and I'm, get rid of it right away instead of letting it linger on and think about it and pondering. It's like, no, I saw this and I'm cutting it out.
Right. And, one thing I would share is, like, I tell people, do your research, people. It's 7 billion with a B. Maybe more at this point. This is recorded, registered individuals. 7 billion with a B people on planet Earth. Why on God's green earth will I focus on one person and there's 7 billion other people? Like, that's once you start telling yourself stuff like that, like, are you serious? And I really feel too, like, I'm not sure if you're from the Caribbean or,
You said you said it with you said my name with the accent.
Okay. I know you were one of my Haitian sisters, girl. Yeah. I didn't know. Okay, so what I would share is, like, our parents or my mom, she didn't know how to. Well, she didn't know. She didn't have the tools to express those type of feelings, and and share with me, like, okay, you know what, this is how you should handle this. She just said, move on, and it's like it's crazy. And this is a personal note, like. I hear my mom, like, now, like, the way she speaks about things that happened 30 years ago, like it happened yesterday. And I'm like, what? Like, and I just don't want to be that person.
But you do know I'll just talk about Haitian culture. I'm not together. They have this old mentality that they will stay together miserable.
Yes.
Families. Like, I don't even know the rate of the divorce rate in the Haitian community because for me, it doesn't exist. Like, families members till this day, one lives in one country, the other one lives in another country. They both relationships, but
they're a whole different family
and everything.
Yeah, they're still married. So that's like our culture. So again, like, sometimes, like, our parents are unable to, because that's they're
That's how they grew up.
we're gonna together, regardless if we're miserable or happy. And it's our generation that has to change it and be like, no, you know, you don't want to live your life miserable, or you work so hard, you want to enjoy it, especially with people that you want to, be happy with, instead of somebody that's miserable.
You're right. And I agree with that 1,000%. And that goes back to what you were saying, Kim, is like, she stated earlier that, she kind of sits back and she observes the person just to see how they're going to maneuver or how they're going to move in that particular relationship. In my opinion, and again, I'm not a psychiatrist, therapist, and I don't prescribe no meds. But what I can say in my situation is I don't have enough time to give you that.
Right.
You show me who you are once, that's who you are.
That's it.
That's who you are.
Yeah.
And that's our issue with people like us, like that maybe have good hearts and open, big hearts are very like, you know what? There has to be a better side.
Yeah,
but we don't have. Just like you go on a job interview. When you go on your first job interview, you put your best foot forward first, and then you show your ass later. But you always show me that when they show you who they are, you have to believe them. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I think I have some questions. Okay, so one thing I want to share about this is when I know we were talking about the relationship portion, but what do you guys think about the friendship portion? Right, talking about friends.
So can I say one thing I've learned years ago, and I don't tolerate it at all. So if you're my friend, you have a responsibility, and so whatever I ask of you, I'm gonna give. I don't deal with any one-way relationships, and I've dealt, I want to say, the majority of my life. So a friend that I'm always there for, you call me and I'm there. When I call you, you're not there. That relationship doesn't work for me. I need a two-way street. I'm asking, I'm going to.
Kim is focused.
I am.
I'm sorry.
I'm trying to get a cocktail over here because she just deep in thought. And listen, next time you cocktail with Landy, girl, make sure you got your cocktail on the side.
Well, I got my tea. I don't know.
Oh, okay. That's okay. I love it. Perfect. I love it. But you know what? Going to that, what I would share, and that is I'm going to keep you on if nobody else joins. I like the conversation.
Right.
I think we have a comment. Give me one and then let's see.
We have Jew 7174 that says, "Stop wasting your precious time on losers."
That is, let me tell you guys, that's honey, that's a word from a queen right there. Man, listen to her, okay? Like you don't have the time. Like we don't have the time to do that. But what I would definitely share is that, when it relates to friends, I can speak on my personal experience and how I handled my situations, plural. So what I would share is that when it comes to friends, it's very tough. You know what I mean? Because it's like especially if you've known the person for so long. And yes, although the family, I can't get rid of them, so I just got to deal with it. You know what I mean? Like regardless, I could move to the side, but you're still my family. But with the friend, it's a little bit tougher because I chose this relationship.
Right.
So it's a little bit, you know what I mean? I chose it. So the fact that I chose this relationship and it's hurting me so badly, it's a different type of hurt for me. So with that being said, it's like, being in situations where, going back to what you're saying, that there's like where it's one-sided. You know what I mean? So another thing you have to also look at when you're in a toxic situation is some people just can't take who you are.
Right.
They just can't take it. It's just not a dig to you. Like, I'll be very transparent. I have an extremely big personality. Everybody that knows me knows that about me. I can talk to you for this. Girl, you hang up, I'll be on the phone with you for another 3 hours if you let me. Okay? That's just my personality. It's very big. Whenever I step in the room, you're gonna you're gonna notice that I'm in the room. And some people just can't take that.
Yep.
And unfortunately for me, I've come across friends where I thought my friends and express that, and I'm like, and then slowly but surely I start realizing that they can't take it, and she's too much, or saying little things like, "Girl, why are you doing that?" Like, girl, like, girl, why are you doing that? Like, girl, just relax. You're doing too much. Like, those little seeds, you have to be mindful.
Yeah.
Those are toxic seeds that they're planting there. Mm-hmm. They're planting there just to kind of see how you're going to move in your situation. So I've been going through that for years, thinking like, oh, maybe I am. Like, maybe I shouldn't be acting like this in this particular setting, and start analyzing my thought process and saying, like, changing it, because I'm like, well, they're a little bit reserved and they're this, maybe I should not. But then they need to pull back. Yeah. Right? And what I've learned is, eventually all you're going to hear is the negative. And when you keep hearing, like, I'm not doing this and I'm not doing this right. And not only that, I'm not hearing it, it's coming back to me from other individuals. Right. So that's what hurts more. Is like, whoa, like, I'm thinking you're my friend and I love you like a brother or a sister, and you're doing this to me. So again, that goes back to, like, preserving your energy and your peace. You know what I mean? So, like, you have no other choice but to cut that person off.
So let me say this. So there's a few things so let me say this. A lot of people keep friendships because of the length of the time that you know them, right?
Right.
Just because.
Hold on, let's cheers to that, girl.
Okay.
Let's cheers, girl. Let's cheers. Yeah. I love it.
Just because we have a past doesn't mean that we have a present or a future together. Be it friends or relationship. So when you're 16, you don't like the same thing when you're 21. Well, you shouldn't.
Okay, you're right.
25 to 30 or 35. So if you're growing, your friendship should grow also. You should be growing with me. You're either going to do one or two things. We're going to grow together, and this is just friends too, platonic, or we're going to grow apart. Right. And it's okay if we no longer have anything in common. For those, and I'll say this, for those who, like, keep on saying, oh, you're this, that, and the third, you're too loud, you're too whatever. That could be a various of things, right? It could be jealousy. It could be envy, because sometimes we befriend people that something that they have that we lack of.
Right. Or we want to have as well.
So it could be one or two things. So look at it that way. And unfortunately, again, I will say, I do think, like, I'll listen to the consensus. So if somebody's like, oh, Nadej, you're always this, I have to, like, I try to evaluate and I marinate what people say. But and it depends where they come from, because some people, again, can be a lot of haters, and some of them can be saying it from love and want you to grow. Right. I would take it and just dissect it, marinate it, and dissect it. But a lot of times it's because people lack what you have, and they're envy of that.
That's a gem. And I see we got I don't mean to cut you but I think we got a comment.
We actually have someone that says bars. How do you do that without offending them?
That is a good question.
So I want to, like, get Kim to chime in, like, prior to us what have you experienced, like, anything like that, where you've come across those type of friendships, or that type of that awkwardness?
Well, I wouldn't say, like, I would say that, and then it's like, because of exactly how you said, like, it's such a long-term relationship and you don't want to let it go because you have that history with that person and you just don't know how to let it go or don't want to let it go. Like, how do you overcome those toxic moments with that person because you want to hold on to that relationship with that person? And that's what I ask myself all the time. Like, I don't want to let this go. I don't want to let this person go because I love this person and I care about this person. And it's a little bit of a toxic relationship between us. How do we overcome that? How do I get over that?
I don't know how you overcome, but one of the things that I've asked some of my friends is, in our relationship, so let me just say, if I was asking you, you're my friend, I would ask you, are you doing more withdrawing or depositing into my life?
Okay. Now, would I ask myself that question?
And I would let you ponder on it, and because that's something that you got to really think about. Right. I would say, I just want to know, Like, are you withdrawing, or are you doing more withdrawing or depositing to my life?
Correct.
And
Okay, so now
that's a question you just have to ask.
That's true too. But now, what if there is no withdrawing? What if there's no withdrawing, but sometimes here and there's a deposit, but there's no like withdrawal? Like this person is not, they're not putting any negativity into the relationship or anything like that. It's just flowing. It's just flowing.
And you want it more?
I'm sorry, say that again?
You want more?
Right, correct.
Then I would ask for it. Like, whatever it is that you want, I would ask for it. Like, I had a friend of mine years ago, and I did not know this. And I'm telling you, it's stuck throughout all my other relationships. She was like, why can't we have a girls' day without your boyfriend? And I'm like, what are you talking about? And she goes, everywhere we go, he's there. When I tell you I had a blonde moment, I did not see it. And then the next event that we went to, he popped up, and I was like, oh. And I didn't even tell him. But I was just like, so it kept, so if you don't ask for it, he or she is not
right.
going to.
So communication. Yeah, communication is the key.
You have to communicate what you want from that person.
Exactly.
Give it to you, then they'll give it to you. Like, they don't know that it's lacking.
Right. That's a good point.
Well, ladies, again, I extremely I have some other callers on here. Listen, you are amazing. Join all the time. You dropping gems. Yes. Listen, honey, I don't know what you do up there in Boston, but you might be somebody's psychiatrist up there or something. You're doing good. I love it. Thank you so much.
Love you.
Guys, thank you for joining Cocktails with Landy. I appreciate you.
No problem.
All right, bye, love. So, but what I would share, with that is you have to be, and again, it's going back to your being selfish.
Right.
And a lot of times we, how can we say, like, we're so considerate about other people's feelings, but you have to be, this is what you have to tell yourself in that particular situation. If I wake up tomorrow and if I don't wake up tomorrow,
right,
then what? You know what I mean? Okay. Hi, who's this?
Great day, ladies. My name is Ronald X. How y'all doing?
Hi, Ronald. How are you?
I'm doing good. How about you? How about y'all?
Amazing. Thank you for joining Cocktails with Landy. Do you have your cocktail?
Absolutely. No, I ain't got no cocktail.
Well, bring tea. You gotta bring something. You can't be
Listen, I'm gonna let y'all
Okay.
have that. Right there.
Okay. Well, next time bring a bottle of water or something. You can't just sit here empty-handed. But thank you for joining. What is your perspective on this topic?
First and foremost, I want to commend both of y'all for having this conversation. I know it's a conversation that we don't have often. And also, I want to commend y'all when both of y'all said that. I know a lot of times we tend to say the other person is toxic as opposed to looking at ourselves and saying that we're toxic, right? And I can speak for myself. I know there's times when I know I'm toxic or I'm projecting my insecurities on other people, and that right there in itself can be toxic, right?
Yes.
That right there can also either limit a relationship from growing or ultimately also end a relationship, whether it's friendship or even an intimate relationship. Yeah. So I do want to touch on, I want to challenge both of you in regards to when you say toxic, or the viewers, or even myself. And when we say toxic, it seems like there's a lot of things nowadays that has become the new normal.
Right.
So like toxic has become the new normal, right? For example, I know one of y'all said something like being toxic and you know you're toxic and you know that individual is toxic, but you choose to stay in that relationship because it feels good. All right, or you don't know how to get out of it, or you don't want to remove yourself from the situation because a lot of times we don't want to be alone. All right, so we deal with those toxic relationships or situations and so on and so forth. So I would challenge you and say that if we know, and it goes back to, we got to hold ourselves accountable, right? Because I always say this, it takes two to tango, right? Because if you know you're in a toxic relationship and you know that person is toxic, are you not just as responsible as the other person?
That's
a great point.
Yeah.
Right?
Agree.
Are we just not as responsible as the other
We
people?
are, because we're
Right?
allowing it. We're continuing
Right.
to
So
allow it.
right. So we can't play the blame game.
Victim, or yeah.
Right? Oh yeah, right. Yeah, that's perfect. That's a perfect word. Victim, right?
Yeah.
We can't play victim because there's no power in being or playing victim. Now, I understand that if you're outside and a car come by and hit you by mistake, or somebody
I
shoots,
mean, that's different.
that's you're a victim by
That's different.
default at that point. But as far as being, if you know you're in a relationship, friendship, and you know it's toxic, and you know it's not serving you,
Yeah.
right? We're both equally responsible from that point.
Yeah,
Right?
I agree.
So we can't play, because there's, like I was saying, there's no power in playing victim. Because once you realize, okay, I'm playing victim, then you've given that other individual the power.
Yes.
Right.
And you've unconsciously or consciously at times gave that person your
That
power.
person, yeah.
You know, so
I definitely agree with both of with your perspective, and again, that goes back to realizing, and when you understand that you're in that particular situation, so you have to realize that you're in it in order to address it, because you won't be able to address it until you have to take ownership of it. If you are, like you just mentioned, both of us are playing the blame game on each other, I have to be realistic with myself and say, what part am I playing in this, and what am I going to change about it? So if you're not going to change anything about it, holding these thoughts and feelings, it just defeats the purpose. You're just going to be in this toxic roller coaster, and it's going to be over and over again. So that's my perspective. Now I know we have some comments.
We just have a comment saying men love to play the victim.
Men.
Wow. Dude, men
Can I play on
love
that?
Well, I can't speak on that. We have a
Can I-
I know, like, can you
maybe he can answer that.
May I speak on that? That's cool. I won't say men love to play victim. I can look back in retrospect and take accountability for myself. Now, if it relates to the men that's on here, so be it. They get to look at that, right? I can say there's times where I play the victim. I can't say that I love it, right? Just like you said earlier, you said that you didn't know what love looked like, right? So for a lot of times, us men don't know what love looked like, right? So a lot of times we don't even know we are a victim, right? Because sometimes we just know what we've been taught, what we've learned, what we see, and so on and so forth. So I can't say that we love playing victim. And once again, if that is the case, then that has nothing to do with the other individual. Then that person know that they're playing victim, and that's the part. I guess that would fall under a form of manipulation, right? They're manipulating you. So that at that point, I would think, that friend or that person that's in that intimate relationship could pick up on it and realize, okay, this is not something I need to be in or I should be in. And once again, this is good. This goes back to, okay, are you seeing it, right? Are you accepting it, and are you still staying in it because it feels good, and this is what you're used to? You don't want to be alone. You don't want to be by yourself, or are you just gonna remove yourself from that situation?
Right. So I again, Ronald, I think that's it.
Yeah.
Ronald, thank you so very much. Listen, I love your perspective. Thank you for chiming in. Thank you for not being shy to come on here, because a lot of you guys, I don't know why they're scared to show their face. So thank you. We're on every Monday. Share the live. Tell somebody else about it. We would love to have you on again, because I love your perspective on there. So we'll definitely keep in touch with you, because we definitely want to get a different point of view. So thank you for joining.
Thank you. You have a great night.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. Alrighty, but I would definitely, for sure, and kind of like wrap it up. I would share this is going back to being in a toxic situation. Period. Right. I can only speak from a Black perspective. Right. Our parents this is something that was instilled in us since 500, 600 years ago. Right. This is all that we know. Right? We just know toxic, from where we came from, for bringing us here. That's all we know is toxicity. So what I would definitely share is learning, and more learning, right? I made the decision for myself. Like a couple years ago, I read a lot of self-motivational books. And not only do I do motivational books, like if I'm not reading a book, I have motivational podcasts that I'm listening to in my car.
Right.
I'm listening to on YouTube. If you guys don't do that, it maybe take 30 minutes, just different motivational aspirations that you want to do and where I want to be in life. Because I'm going to share this, and I want to really, and I know I typically kind of round this off around 9:45, as you know, I stay on here, but I want to spend this last segment, not too long, I'm not going to keep you guys on here too long, is to spend it on family, right? Which is very, very important to share, right? Family can ruin you. Yes, family can destroy you. You know, I have family members tell me, like, you know, I'm thinking I'm doing something positive. Example, i.e. this podcast. I'm not getting any monetary gain for this. This is something I chose to do because this is what I want to do, you know, and, you know, giving their 2 cents instead of congratulating me,
right,
or instead of saying, sis, keep it up, or instead of saying, sis, or, you know, do this or do that, or, you know, they want to, quote unquote, I don't want to use the word shame me, but think they're shaming me in public, but they haven't learned that I've become a different person, where those type of things don't affect you. They don't affect me. Right. So, you know, that perspective, being where I'm in group environments and they're just, it's just arguing. It's just, you can feel the energy. You know when you go in, the tension just thick. You know, it's like, and everybody that knows me knows I'm a happy-go-lucky individual. You know, so it's like, I'm not going to go nowhere where the tension is thick because I like to be saucy. Okay? So with that being said, like, I like to go slow. I like the vibes. I need the vibes to be A1A. So if your vibes are not there, listen, friend, family, or foe. If the vibes are not there, I'm not there. You know, and listen, I'm not going to jeopardize or risk my well-being just to satisfy you. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, going back to, you know, being, you know, in a situation where there's longevity involved, being that this is your family member, being that I'm in love with this person, I don't know what to do. Listen, we were all in love once, and I'm pretty sure we'll be in love with you. You know what I'm saying? So don't waste these valued years, because think about it. One thing I share too, the same individual we was at 22, 23, 24 is not the individuals we are today. And the same type of guys or women you used to get at 22, 23, 24 won't be the same type of people you're going to be getting when you're older. So you can't be wasting your time and saying, okay, I'm going to waste 5, 6, 7, 8 years on this particular individual or a person or whoever it is in your life, just to be like, just to hope. Keyword is hope that they're going to do better. No, I can't hope. When you do better, you call me. I'm not going to block you. I'm not going to do none of that. You call me when you're ready, and then we can move forward. Until then,
that's it.
You know, so what would you kind of like chime in on that?
I agree with you. I agree on the same thing, because at the end of the day, you have to preserve your energy. You have to preserve yourself. And just like you may be thinking about that person's opinions or what they're thinking, they might not be thinking about you. They might not even be worried about how it's making you feel or how it's affecting you. They're just worried about themselves. They're being selfish as well. So now you have to learn how to be selfish for yourself and put you first, just like they're doing for themselves. So at the end of the day, you gotta be selfish.
Yeah. So with that, you guys, that is, you know, I do want to end this particular podcast with saying, focus on yourself. Yeah. Focus on your energy. Because I will always use this analogy. Whenever I get on a plane, the first thing they tell me, when them things, the lady goes, and she go like this, you know, the people they say, do yours first before you can help somebody else. So you need to put on your lifesaver, self-care before you can care for other people. And be selfish with your energy. Yeah. Be selfish with your energy.
You have to think about it as a glass that you're drinking.
Exactly. So you
keep letting them drink out of it. It's
going
to be empty.
What you gonna have left?
You gotta preserve it.
And your mouth will be dry. You know. Okay. I have one last comment. What's the last comment?
Selfish can be good.
No, selfish can be amazing.
Yeah.
Selfish people. All the selfish people I know are wealthy.
I'm like,
All
they're
the selfish
working.
people know
Yes.
they're happy.
Yes.
All the selfish people I know are they're living their best lives.
Because at the end of the day, you're living with yourself. It's just you at the end of the day.
Exactly, exactly. So you guys, again, this has been another episode of Cocktails with Landy. Cocktails with Landy. Be sure to check us out every Monday. We go live on Landy_brand. Of course, I'll put the information here. 9 p.m. If you want to join the live, if you're interested in any topics, don't be afraid. Just send them in, DM me. This I do save it. This particular episode will be back up on YouTube by tomorrow. So again, go back and watch the previous episode. Subscribe to my YouTube page, Cocktails with Landy. Again, if you're interested, hit me up. Let me know what you guys want to discuss. Share. Don't use this information just for yourself.
Right.
Other people you might have individual, a subliminal just go, hey, by the way, they talking about this. What you think?
Yes.
So we talk about everything. If you're interested in whatever topic, send it our way. I really appreciate you guys spending this time with us. Again, Locs by Kim. Listen, I'm gonna put her information. If you have locks, dreads for other people, she can take care of that for you. I know y'all see my red bottom. That's what I call her.
Okay.
Red bottom. This is my fedora. Okay. ASD_fashion. So I'm definitely gonna put her information here as well. Again, thank you. This has been another episode of Cocktails with Landy. Cheers.